Hello and welcome to This Day. I'm your host, BJ Arnett. Today is one of those days that when you have an interview set like this, that chronicles a very painful journey, you have to step back and say, wait a minute, it's time for a story to be told from one who experienced it, who lived through it, and is now triumphantly telling you the story. Welcome our guest today, the author of The Other Side of Nothing, Hilda Valentine. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I set that up in such a way because there is something very important about the words of our testimony. There's something very important to be able to tell the story and to be on the other side of it and to continually grow from it. The Other Side of Nothing is a chronicle of your experiences in life, survival, and understanding of healing and your spiritual journey. You are a survivor from 9/11.
Yes.
Tell us how you feel now.
The journey has been hard. I've learned a lot. In writing the book, I feel the Lord laid it on my heart to write the book, to share my journey in hopes that it will be a guide, a help for other people who are struggling with trauma, mental health issues, to know that the book is entitled The Other Side of Nothing, a survival journey towards healing. That it can be a reference for other people struggling.
No matter what the struggle is.
Right?
I think one of the things that became very apparent to me in understanding the other side of nothing and the focus of the book towards the emotional, social, and mental, spiritual healing of an individual is that we can't compare one horrific moment to the other with 9/11. Each one of you who survived has a particularly delicate story. So I want you to take us back, now that we see where you are now, take us back to that morning. You woke up like any other morning, and then what?
Right. I woke up like any other morning. It was, in my mind,
Excuse
going
me.
to be a beautiful day. My sister and I had plans to go on a cruise around New York that evening after work. I left work. I left home extremely early, like 7:30 in the morning. But before I left, it was election day, so I went to vote and got on the bus, got downtown early, um, headed upstairs to my office. And, it was a very normal day. So I was doing some work. And shortly after I sat down, there was this boom. And everybody kind of like jumped up and like, what was that? What was that? People started gathering in the middle of the floor. So a couple of the VPs came out of their offices and they kind of came where everybody was standing. And one of them mentioned it was probably a transformer. And he went back in his desk, alluding to, you need to get back to work kind of thing. So as I tried to go back to work, tried to go back to my desk, I just had that eerie feeling about, I don't know about a transformer. That doesn't resonate with my spirit. So I go over to the window and I'm trying to figure out what's going on. So I'm looking out the window thinking I can see something, but I'm on the 100th floor. But as I go to the window, I notice there are bits and little pieces of paper that's floating through
The air.
outside.
Yep.
And I'm thinking, I'm not alarmed because the first thing I'm thinking, oh, what's going on in New York today that they're having a ticker tape parade?
Wow.
And I go back to my desk and I try to work. I'm trying to do something on the computer, and I'm just so uneasy. So I go to my group and I said, I don't know what's going on, but why don't we go downstairs? If it's nothing, we can always come back up. And they, 3 or 4, decided they would leave, and then the administrative secretary decided she wanted to call her boyfriend before she went down. So I go back to my desk and I'm like, well, hurry up, make the phone call so we can go. So as she's making a phone call, I decide to go over to my desk. I grab a bag that I normally carry with me to ride the bus. It has my shoes, my umbrella. And as she continues to talk, I go back, I get my pocketbook. And then I decided to go back and get my keys, my house keys. I don't know why I did that. So when she gets finished, we head towards the staircase. I don't know why we took the staircase instead of the elevator, but it was the 3 of us. By this time, we get into the staircase. And we're in the staircase and we're kind of joking around because we really don't think we're in danger. We're joking around because one of the person I was work with, he was drinking coffee, and she commented as to how much he was sweating. So I said, well, probably if he put that coffee down, he'd be okay. Mm-hmm. So we go down and we get somewhere around the 75th floor, and he decided he needed to go to the restroom. So I said, well, I'm going to stop on this floor also, and I'm going to try to use my cell phone to call my sister to find out if she knew what was going on. So, but before we get off on that floor, they had made an announcement that the problem was in, he never identified what the problem was, but the problem was in building 1, and our building was okay. So when we go out on that floor, he goes to the right and I go to the left to try to use the phone. So as I'm walking, trying to use the phone, I don't get any signal. So one of the men behind me says, why don't you go towards the window? You'll probably get a better reception. So I'm walking towards the window, and I really want to share this with you because it's just amazing God's grace.
Yes, it is.
I hear this voice say, don't go near the window. And I turn around and I'm looking, I'm like, who's talking to me? And there's nobody around me. And then I hear the voice say, get back in the stairwell. So, not questioning, I just turn around and walk back to the stairwell. So I get back in the staircase, and I'm like maybe halfway down to the first landing of that floor. By this time, the announcer comes back on, and he says, the problem is in building 1. And building 2, which is the building I'm in, is okay for now. So when he says for now,
For now, yeah. You're saying what does that mean?
Yes. I mean, I could feel the fear. I could
rising.
It was just unbelievable. Mm-hmm. So I turn around because by this time I don't know anybody in the staircase. I look behind me and I'm like, what does he mean for now? And the guy goes, I don't know. So he asked me, what are you going to do? And I'm like, I'm getting out of here. So I turn around frantically. I'm trying to rush now down the staircase. But before I get to the landing is when the plane hits. Mm. So we're being tossed around and things are coming in the staircase, smoke, and it was just horrible. So I had the presence of mind I wasn't concerned, and I should have been, about this inhaling the fumes and all, but I was more concerned about something getting into my eyes. Uh-huh. So I was wearing a scarf. I took the scarf off and I kind of shielded my eyes because I'm thinking, if something get in my eye and I can't see, I'm really going to be in trouble because I can't figure out how to get out of here. Mm-hmm. So all of a sudden you hear people screaming, and they're screaming, run back up, run back up. And I'm holding on to the railing, mm-hmm. because I'm saying, I don't know what it is, but I'm not running back up.
When
I'm getting out of this building.
Hilda, like, we have 2 wars going on right now around the world, right? And what
Yes.
you are describing with 9/11, and so many of us have heard stories like this, but in the United States, we've not experienced what is going on around the world. We've not experienced this until 9/11. And what
Right.
you're describing is a war zone.
Yes, basically.
But also what you're describing is the graciousness of God
Yes.
to tell you to back off from that window and go
Yes.
back to the staircase.
Yes. Yes. I mean, he was talking to me the entire day. So people are pushing and they're like, but I'm holding on because all I know is I don't know what is happening, but my safety is out of this building. So when things calmed down, we were able to start walking. So still not knowing what's happening, we're just trying to get out the building. So we're walking because we're like somewhere around the 75th floor. So we still got 75 flights of steps to go.
Wow.
So as we're walking, someone from above me started saying, move over to the right because people were trying to get by. So first a firefighter was trying to get up. So we had to move over so he could get up. And then as we go in more down the steps, they were like, move over because somebody was trying to come down. And as this man's coming down, it was obvious that he had been on fire because his clothes was burned. His hair was still smothering. And he's just walking like,
He's dazed. He doesn't know what's
Yes.
happening, really.
He's dazed. And I think at that point, I lost it. I think it was seeing him like that. All I could think of, we're all going to look like that before we get out of here. Because that was my only frame of reference is that something's on fire and we're all going to burn up. So at that moment, I lost it. I mean, my heart started palpitating. I was shaking. I couldn't speak. And I'm standing there. I can't talk. I'm shaking. And I'm holding my chest because my heart is beating so heavy. I'm thinking, if whatever's in here don't kill me, I'm going to have a heart attack because that's how hard my heart was beating.
But you didn't. But you
in the
didn't.
midst of
In
that,
the midst of all of that, God is still speaking to you. God
Yes.
still had you. We only have a few seconds left, but your story, I can't even imagine reading this. You tell it, and it is so pulling. There is the spiritual healing, the emotional and physically, the
Yes.
journey that God has taken you on to be able to even pen this story. He wrote it.
Right.
But you put the pen to paper. The mental, the social, the emotional, all of these points of healing have to happen for you to actually be on the other side. The title of the book is The Other Side of Nothing. And Hilda Valentine, you have told it in a heart-wrenching way, but amazingly well. We look forward to seeing the next step God is doing with you. You can reach her at theothersideofnothing.org, theothersideofnothing.org. Survival is much more than just an everyday journey. It's the faith to know that God's got you no matter what you ever thought. God bless.